Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United have no plans to sack Solskjaer. So Solskjaer is staying at Manchester United for now. Solskjaer expects to remain Manchester United manager after the international break. Solskjaer is under serious pressure following back-to-back home defeats to Manchester City and Liverpool, and Manchester United have only won one of their last 6 Premier League games, and Manchester United are currently sitting 6th in the Premier League. Now, like I updated you earlier on this week, it did say from some reports that Solskjaer is waiting to be sacked after leaving Manchester. On Monday, Solskjaer flew back home to Norway with his family. The other day, Fabrizio Romano gave us an update on Solskjaer's situation. Romano said the Manchester United board have held no talks with other managers and still support Solskjaer. Obviously, Solskjaer is losing the players, he's also losing the fans' support. Solskjaer should have been sacked after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. If Manchester United would have sacked him, then I can assure we would have got Antonio Conte. Well, after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool, it did mention that Solskjaer had been given 3 games to save his job. Only won one of them 3 games, beat Tottenham 3-0, drew 2-2 against Atalanta, and lost 2-0 to Man City last weekend. It was an abysmal performance against Man City. I thought it was a worse performance than the game against Liverpool. After the defeat to Man City, Solskjaer did admit that Man United were outclassed by Man City, and he did say as well the Man City defeat was a big step backwards. If Solskjaer really cared about the club, he would resign, revert back to what I've said recently. But Solskjaer's not going to resign. He refused to resign after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. If Manchester United decide to sack Solskjaer, they'll have to pay Ole $7.5 million, because in the summer Solskjaer signed a 3-year contract. There's an option of a further year, and Manchester United made a mistake giving Solskjaer that 3-year contract, and a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. Now, as you all know, there's been quite a lot of managers on Manchester United's agenda. Now, Brendan Rodgers is the favourite to replace Solskjaer. Apparently, Brendan Rodgers has verbally agreed to become Manchester United's new manager. Man United are confident that Brendan Rodgers will be their next manager. The Manchester Evening News said recently that Man United are ready to trigger Brendan Rodgers' contract clause if Solskjaer gets sacked. Brendan Rodgers, though, will not be leaving Leicester midway through the season. His preference would be to wait until next season. Should Brendan Rodgers replace Solskjaer? If Brendan Rodgers did come to Manchester United, do you think he'd get the best out of the players? Do you think he would be capable of winning trophies? Would he get Manchester United back to that level where we should be at? There is some United fans that genuinely do want him in, but there's some United fans that don't want him in. But one thing I can say is a far superior manager to Solskjaer. You've got to admire what Brendan Rodgers has done at Leicester. So far he's won the Community Shield and the FA Cup. He's been Leicester manager for almost 3 years. He's got a contract with Leicester until 2025. Rodgers has managed quite a lot of clubs, hasn't he? Obviously, before he's managed Celtic, he won quite a few trophies with Celtic. He endured a few years with Celtic. Before he's managed Liverpool, he endured one good season with Liverpool. He's managed Swansea before, he did well there. Managed Watford a long time ago and Reading, and at one point he managed Chelsea's youth. There has been talks of Zinedine Zidane coming in as well, but I've now totally disregarded Zinedine Zidane because apparently he's not interested in the Manchester United job. Even though the other week he said that Manchester United held talks with Zinedine Zidane, and reports from Spain said that Zidane rejected the Newcastle job as he's waiting for the Man United or France job. But currently Zidane is enjoying life away from football management. Ralph Ragnick's also been mentioned. Romano recently gave us an update on him. He said that Manchester United turned down Ralph Ragnick. There has been rumours of Ralph Ragnick coming in as the interim manager until the end of the season. There's quite a lot of United fans that would like to see Erik ten Hag come in. You've got to admire what Erik ten Hag has done at Ajax. You know, he's won quite a few trophies with them and he's been at Ajax for 4 years. Apparently, no, Erik ten Hag is reluctant to leave Ajax. Pochettino's also been spoken about, but I'm going to disregard Pochettino now because Pochettino sees his long-term future at PSG. So there you go. But revert back to Solskjaer. He's had long enough at Manchester United. You know, he's been in charge of the club for almost 3 years. And reflecting now on his been at the club, he has gained some managerial experience and he's learned quite a bit on the job, but there's still plenty of things Solskjaer's got to learn because he is still a young coach. And we all adore Solskjaer, reflecting on what he's done for the club. At the end of the day, he is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. Solskjaer had a proven pedigree when he was a player because he won a lot of trophies as a player for Man United, but unfortunately as a manager Solskjaer has no proven pedigree. Solskjaer is not an elite manager. Maybe one day he will become an elite manager. I think the club from top to bottom is in a predicament at this moment in time. And to get out of this predicament, we need a change of manager, and structural changes are also needed at the club. You know, reflecting on Manchester United's poor performances, you know, you can't just put all of the blame on Solskjaer. Yes, he's accountable for certain things, you know, all his tactics have been questioned and his team selections have been questioned, but there's also players that have to take responsibility for those poor performances. This season is Solskjaer's 3rd full season as Man United manager. And I did say at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for him. But I just feel as though that the expectations are far too high for Solskjaer to exceed as Man United manager. And I just think he's in a position that he shouldn't be in. And Ollie's not capable of winning trophies as Man United manager. He's not yet won a trophy as manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Solskjaer ran out of excuses a while ago. Manchester United should be doing far better than they are doing, because we've got a very good squad. The board backed Solskjaer in the summer transfer window, and they still continue to back him now, even though we've been in terrible form. And Man United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year, made 4 signings, spent £141 million. Obviously brought Tom Heaton in on a free from Villa, brought Sancho in from Dortmund, brought Varane in from Real Madrid, and we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. Solskjaer's enjoyed like 5 transfer windows now as permanent Man United manager. Man United have spent over £400 million under the Solskjaer era, and in total Solskjaer has signed 14 players so far. So there you go. I just hope that Manchester United do not stick with Solskjaer until the end of the season. But we may have to stick with him, because we're running out of time on finding a replacement for Solskjaer. Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019, and the reason he got the job on a permanent basis was reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. But Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United, it was going to be a massive job. And not only a massive job, he knew it was going to be a difficult job as well, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. Solskjaer is managing one of the biggest clubs in the world. Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson, because Manchester United have sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. We sacked Moyes, we sacked Louis van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United have got some very, very good players. But the reason we're not getting the best out of a lot of the players is because we're a team of individuals. That's the problem. You've got the likes of City, Liverpool and Chelsea that actually play as a team. And that explains why they're in a much better position than Manchester United. If Man United played as a team, we'd be very competitive and would be up there with the likes of City, Liverpool and Chelsea. We've got a title-winning squad, so in reality, Man United should be winning the league this season, or at least challenging for the league. Well, Solskjaer did mention at the start of this season that his ambition was to win the Premier League. We haven't won the league since 2013. But look who we've got in the team. Obviously we've got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo's even becoming infuriated with Manchester United. Don't forget Ronaldo mocked Solskjaer's tactics in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Ronaldo, though, to his credit, has done well since he's re-signed. He's scored 9 goals in all competitions so far. But Man United are relying on Ronaldo far too much. In the 2-2 draw against Atalanta, Ronaldo saved Solskjaer. He netted twice in stoppage time at the end of both halves. He also scored the winner in the reverse fixture against Atalanta at Old Trafford. He scored the winner against Villarreal earlier on this season. He scored a very good volley in the 3-0 win against Tottenham. He also got an assist in that game. That was his first assist since he re-signed for the club. And he also had a disallowed goal in the game against Tottenham. Ronaldo did play in the 2-0 defeat to Man City, and he was anonymous in that game. He got very little service. Ronaldo, though, did have 2 good chances. Not so long ago, Ronaldo got named Manchester United's Player of the Month for October, so that's now back-to-back awards, because back in September, Ronaldo got named Premier League Player of the Month. You know, if bad performances and bad results persist, and we don't change manager, I can't see Ronaldo seeing out his contract. Ronaldo's got a contract with Man United till 2023. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United, and he wears the number 7 shirt, and we got Ronaldo for 19.8 million with add-ons included. And you've got Mason Greenwood. He's a talented player. Greenwood is a young player, got a lot of development in him. I can assure he's got a long-term future at Man United. Greenwood has scored, 4 goals in the league so far this season. Most of the time Greenwood plays on the right wing, but he actually played up top alongside Ronaldo against Man City. The Greenwood and Ronaldo partnership doesn't work out. At one point, Greenwood went a while without scoring, but despite that, he's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and last season Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. Reflecting on his good performances. And we've also got Jadon Sancho. That is a good player overall, but he's been poor for Manchester United so far. I think Sancho's blameless though for his poor performances. I think you've got to put the blame on Solskjaer, because when Solskjaer decides to play Sancho, he persistently plays him out of position. There again though, there's quite a few games Sancho doesn't even play him, but quite a few fans have been getting on Sancho's back. Sancho will do well at Man United providing that is used correctly. It does take some players time to settle in. To Sancho's credit, he made an impact when he came on against Man City last weekend. Man United got Sancho in a deal worth 78 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till June 2026. There's an option of a further year. But Sancho, though, did endure 4 good years with Borussia Dortmund. And I was hoping that he could replicate at Man United what he did in his 4 years at Dortmund, but so far he's failed to replicate what he did in his 4 years at Dortmund. You got Marcus Rashford. He's a talented player. You know, Rashford's still young, got a lot of development in him. Rashford's been part of the club for a long time as it stands. You know, he's been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. So Rashford's been in our senior squad now for like 5.5 years. Rashford has got a contract with Man United till 2023. Rashford most of the time now does play on the left wing. We need to keep him on the left wing because that's where he's mostly effective. He's far superior on the left wing to the right wing and up top. And Rashford has done well in quite a few games since he come back, but he's had a few bad games as well. At one point Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while, and at one point he had to have an operation on his shoulder. You know, you've got Cavani, that's a good attacking player. But unfortunately, I think Cavani's going to be leaving Manchester United next year. Cavani is out with injury now until December. He was actually out with injury earlier on this season. Cavani has got under a year left on his contract at Manchester United. Back in May, Cavani signed a 1-year contract extension. This season is Cavani's second full season at Man United. We got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG. And you've got Bruno Fernandes. That's an exceptional player. He's one of our best players, and he's certainly one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Fernandes starts the vast majority of Manchester United's games. He has been consistent in a lot of games for Man United, but there's also been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. Fernandes was very, very poor in the 2-0 defeat to Man City last weekend. We got Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. He's been a Man United player for almost 2 years. Last season, Fernandes won Player of the Year and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Earlier on this season, Fernandes did make it clear that he wants to stay at Man United. When Fernandes first came to Man United, though, he said, "I've come to Manchester to win trophies." Fernandes has got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. You've got Donny van der Beek, that's also a good player. But I haven't had much of a perception on him at Man United because he hasn't been given enough game time. And like I've said, Solskjaer needs to start Van der Beek, especially in the Premier League. I do think Paul Pogba is a good player. He's not only a good player, he's an imperative player as well. Pogba did enjoy a good start to the Premier League season. So far in the league this season, he's got 7 assists. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season. Now, I did recently give you the news on Pogba. Pogba may never play for Manchester United again. Pogba could miss the rest of 2021 because on Monday, Pogba suffered a thigh injury in France training. And it has said that Man United are prepared to sell Pogba in the January transfer window. Well, it's better to offload him in January and cash in for him rather than let him go on a free next summer. Reports from France said yesterday, like I updated you, that Pogba wants to renew his contract with Manchester United, but reportedly only on one condition, that he's made the Premier League's highest paid player. So Pogba wants to overtake Ronaldo as the highest paid player. At the moment, Pogba receives around £290,000 a week on his current contract, and Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Well, it actually said contract talks had been put on hold when it said Pogba snubbed Solskjaer after Liverpool defeat. Even if Pogba wasn't injured now, we wouldn't have been able to play against Watford after this international break because Pogba has still got one game to serve out of the 3-match ban he got. Pogba got sent off for a 2-footed challenge on Naby Keita in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Pogba's had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked to Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him, Barcelona have been in for him, Inter Milan have been in for him before, and his former club Juventus have been in for him. Pogba endured 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United, so there you go. And Mino Raiola, Pogba's agent, has been working hard to get his client a move away from Manchester United. Pogba's Man United's most expensive signing at the moment, paid $89 million for him. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and this season is his 6th season at the club since he re-signed. And you've got Luke Shaw, that's a good left back, but Luke Shaw has certainly not proven how good he can be this season, because I think Luke Shaw's been very, very poor this season. Where's the Luke Shaw from last season? Because last season Luke Shaw was absolutely superb. He was far superior last season to how he has been so far this season. The best game I think Shaw's had so far this season was the 3-0 win against Tottenham, even though he got booked in that game. Shaw was very poor in our last game against Man City. Obviously, he was the main culprit for Man City's second goal by Silva. Plus, Shaw came off injured in the game. I think Shaw's got a concussion. Earlier on this season, Shaw had a minor injury and illness. But despite Shaw's injuries, I do reckon he's had a good career at Man United. Shaw's been at Manchester United for 7.5 years, so he's been a long-serving player. He's been our first choice left back for a while, and he still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Tellez. Shaw has under 2 years left on his contract. You've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka, that's a good right back as well. The defensive side of his game is superb, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. These aspects of his game that have to improve. He has got to get forward a lot more. His position's got to improve, and I think his crossing's got to improve a bit more as well. But despite that, I think Bissaka is one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. This season is his third full season at Man United. We got him for 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. You've got Eric Bailly, that's a good centre half. Bailly doesn't get regular game time, no, does he? Obviously, with the signing of Varane in the summer transfer window, and for some reason Solskjaer prefers Lindelof ahead of Eric Bailly. So they are the two reasons. Bailly's only made 3 appearances so far this season. I've got to say Bailly was very, very poor against Man City last weekend. Obviously City's first goal came from an own goal by Bailly, but it wasn't only the own goal, his overall performance was just very, very poor, and I was shocked in that aspect because Bailly played very well in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta. He made some good interventions and some good blocks, and he played well against West Ham in the Cup earlier on this season. I've just got to say though, Bailly is a far superior centre-half to Victor Lindelof. Bailly's injury prone though, that is a concern. Towards the end of last season, he signed a new contract to Man United till 2024. There's an option of a further year. And you've got Varane. He's a very, very good centre-half. He's done well in quite a few games for Man United, but he's had a couple of games where he's looked off the pace. Varane has already got his second injury as a United player. He only came in the summer transfer window. Varane is now out with a hamstring injury. He's out for up to a month. Not so long ago, Varane had a groin injury, and he was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. Varane initially made his return in the 3-0 win against Tottenham. What a performance Varane put out against Tottenham. Man United got Varane for a reasonable fee. We got him in a deal worth 41 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. Varane to Man United was official just before kick-off against Leeds, which was the opening day. But Varane is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced and he's got a good pedigree behind him as a player. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at Real Madrid, and he was also a long-serving player when he was at Real Madrid. He enjoyed like 11 years at Real Madrid. You've got Harry Maguire, that's a good centre-half when he wants to be, but he hasn't proven how good he really can be so far this season, because he's been poor this season. He's been even worse since he come back from that calf injury. The best game I recall Maguire having this season was the game against Tottenham, even though he got booked in that game. We seem to get the best out of Maguire when he's alongside Varane. But when Maguire's alongside Bailly or Lindelof, he's not so good. Man United certainly overpaid for Maguire, got him in a deal worth 80 million, so he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club. And you've also got De Gea, that's a very, very good goalkeeper. I've got to give De Gea a lot of credit. I think he's done really, really well so far this season. You know, he's made good saves in a lot of games and his distribution's also been good. Yeah, he may have made one or two mistakes, you know, in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta. You know, De Gea should have saved Atalanta's opening goal. I think he did make a poor clearance in the 3-0 win against Tottenham, but apart from that, he has done well, and he was very good in the 2-0 defeat to Man City as well. He saved us from a humiliation. De Gea made around 4 or 5 fantastic saves in that first half against City. Yes, he was partly to blame for City's second goal, but Luke Shaw was to blame a lot more. And you've got Dean Henderson, that's also a good goalkeeper as well. But obviously Dean Henderson doesn't get his opportunities now because De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. So there you go. There's also inconsistent players at Man United. You know, Lindelof's not good enough to represent the club. I think he should be moved on next year. You know, Fred's not good enough to represent the club. Man United overpaid for Fred, got him in a deal worth 50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. I don't think McTominay is good enough, even though he has had his good games at Man United, but I would still give McTominay more time. Fred and McTominay play a lot of games together, and Solskjaer has been criticised for persistently selecting Fred and Scott McTominay in the centre midfield. You know, Lingard's not good enough to represent the club either. You know, he doesn't really get in the team anyway. You know, Martial's not good enough to represent the club. So, there you go. But like I say, Man United are going to offload a lot of players, I think, next year. I think Martial's going, Mata's going, Lingard's going, Van der Beek's going, Matic is going. Looks like Pogba's going. Let's meet his demands. I think Tellez is going, Jones is going, Bailly's going. I think the lot's also going as well. And like I said, I think Dean Henderson will go out on loan. Cavani, I think he's another one that's going as well. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.